This house is in the east end of Toronto in the Beaches neighborhood, and it's just a block away from the water. These clients approached me back in 2020. They purchased the home 10 years before that, and they absolutely love the street. They love the neighborhood that they're in. They go down and play beach volleyball just a block away from here. They're part of the club that is full of families in this area. So they really wanted to be able to continue to live the lifestyle that they have in this home. When I first saw the before house, I was really excited because there was so much potential, especially with the lot that they're on. Their backyard is very, very deep. The house that was here before was quite a bit smaller. I would say probably 2/3 smaller than what it is now. They had been saving for a really long time, started looking at options for what they could do to make this house be spacious enough and be the home that they needed it to be for their growing family. And so almost 10 years to the day after they bought it, they embarked on a very large renovation. We did a huge addition out the back and then an extension as well upstairs. The architect on this project was Craig Race. He was incredible with determining how to best utilize the space. And then Allaire Homes Forest Hill was the builder on this. We worked directly with Andrew and with Adam on site, and they were incredible. They took some very difficult challenges and were able to get through those in a very practical and realistic way that made the home quite beautiful. I will call this my West Coast inspired home. It's got a lot of the neutral earth tone palette in here. We wanted to focus on natural materials and textures, so there's a lot of wicker, there's a lot of wood, we've got muted colors, everything that you would anticipate finding at a very sophisticated home in California. We've got quite an expansive foyer when you walk in the front door. We really wanted to do the checkerboard tile. We didn't want to go with the traditional black and white, so we went with a darker gray and then an off-white tile as well. Just something that gives a little bit of visual interest without being too harsh and too much contrast. It was a little bit softer than your traditional checkerboard tile. We wanted something that was white oak, so we went with a white oak herringbone pattern for the front door, which, especially from being in the kitchen and looking through down that hallway, you get a very unique pattern and, again, something a little bit different. We've also got built-in millwork towards the end of the foyer, which houses all of the coats and backpacks and shoes and everything that you might need. And then we've got an integrated bench as well so that you can sit down while you're putting on your shoes. The main floor is 1,000 square feet. It is quite a bit bigger than what it was prior to this renovation, but really we wanted to focus on making it feel homey and warm and not overly expansive. So the living room, we've got the shiplap on the wall where the fireplace is. We went black with that to make it quite bold and moody in that space. The dining room, we've got this built-in millwork where we have beautiful stone that's running on the countertop and then all the way up behind the cabinet. That's a nice feature because when you open the cabinets, you still see there's this beautiful stone behind it. We've got everything flowing. We've got the living room that leads into the dining room, that leads into the family room and into the kitchen, and we've got these archways separating each of these areas. We did want to have an open concept main floor, which we did achieve through this floor plan, but I liked the idea of integrating these archways with a little bit of wall space coming into each of the rooms to give a little bit more feeling of intimacy in each of these spaces. The family room is right onto the kitchen, but also the hub of the home, and we wanted this to feel like a very cozy, livable space. Did not center the fireplace. That was intentional. I went for symmetry in the living room, but in the family room, I wanted something that was a little bit different and something that wasn't necessarily expected. So we designed an elevated fireplace that we put on a concrete bench, just a little bit different than what you typically see with a fireplace on the floor. This was something that gave us a little bit more of a casual look. It also allowed us to have built-in drawers underneath the TV that gave us the opportunity to store everything away, while also then being in the kitchen, you can see the fireplace directly across. The kitchen is my favorite part. We started with an understanding of what the palette was going to be, but it was actually on a sourcing trip with my clients when we went to go look for backsplash stone that we were able to finalize the overall vision. We found this beautiful quartzite stone and my clients fell in love with it because it has the look of a wave in it that reminds them of the beach, and I fell in love with it because it's such a unique piece. The feeling of it is almost like suede. You can really see the different textures in it. We did want to integrate some of the fluting in the kitchen. It does have a similar profile to the arches that are throughout the main floor, so we liked having that continuity. We did a little border of it on the hood, and then we actually carried it on the sides of the island as well, just to keep the eye continuous with that. It is all custom-made white oak. It was done by Nick Day Design. They are an incredible millwork company. The metal cabinets that are on either side of the range hood. It's actually just a metal inlay that we did to give a little bit of extra texture and something a little bit different, again, to add some visual interest. This was kind of my vision of having beams collaborated with the architect who wanted to do something a little bit more unique than your typical beam. He came up with the idea of doing exposed joists, and that was new for me. I had not done something like that before, so I went along with what his suggestions were in terms of how to execute it. It's a very unique way of implementing a ceiling detail that you don't typically see. The back wall is sliding doors. It's beautiful. It allows a ton of natural light. It is a double sliding door, so it opens right from the center. It's beautiful for indoor, outdoor living, especially in the summer when everything's all lush. They've got a beautiful hot tub out back. It just allows them to experience the best of both worlds in the warmer months and appreciate the scenery that they have behind them. The archway through the kitchen, the tallest arch on the main floor, it's my personal favorite one. It leads right through to the powder room. There was no powder room on the main floor previously, so it was very nice to be able to sneak one in. I'm a very big fan of William Morris & Co. wallpapers. We knew that we wanted to put that paper in somewhere. The powder room seemed like a very logical place for that. We mixed a few different patterns and textures and colors in this main floor, but kept a focus on the neutral palette that we do execute in the majority of our projects so that we could keep the cohesion and the seamless aesthetic. While we increased the square footage significantly on this home, the main goal was to keep it very cozy, homey feeling, and make it feel very livable for our clients. And we did that through intentionally designing each space to feel that it was curated for the family and really making sure that it took into account the way that they were going to live in this home. It is a large home, but it doesn't feel overly expansive. It doesn't feel stark in areas. We were able to pull things together so that it feels very livable and very warm and functional.